reporting. Your news now continues. Israel's three largest banks have all been ordered to pay record fines, which collectively are set to total over $1 billion to the U.S. government, after the banks were found to have actively colluded with thousands of wealthy Americans in massive tax evasion schemes. Mid-press news reports the scandal has been reported widely in Israel, but has garnered little attention in the United States. The media blackout has been so surprising, it was even directly mentioned by the Times of Israel, given that similar revelations about other banks and offshore tax evasion schemes, such as those contained within the Panama Papers, led to global protests and even the resignations of some world leaders. The settlements are the end result of a series of Department of Justice probes that were related to the DOJ's 2007 investigation targeting UBS AG, Switzerland's largest bank. The focus of the probe turned to Israel a few years later in 2011, when it was determined that the Swiss subsidiaries of several of Israel's largest banks had actively aided Americans seeking to launder their money. If the black smoke over the Paris skyline and charred cars and buildings, which have become characteristic of France's increasingly violent yellow vest protests over the past months, weren't alarming enough, things look to get much worse as the government prepares to escalate. The anti-media reports that in an effort to clamp down on the unraveling security situation, which has lately seen banks and residential buildings torched and luxury stores and restaurants vandalized and destroyed, the French authorities have announced the deployment of anti-terrorism military forces in order to protect and secure public buildings. Following the worsening protest situation of the past weekend, which nearly turned deadly for random civilians caught up in the mayhem of rioters clashing with police, the government will redirect counter-terror troops from Operation Sentinel to focus on Yellow Vest-related threats. Support for Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. Hager physicists have created quantum slacks. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The stunning announcement that a team of Hager physicists has successfully developed quantum slacks was made this morning at a press conference in Philadelphia. According to Dr. Daniel Chang, head of the Hager team, conventional notions about the physical properties and possibilities of slacks have been turned on their heads.
We are on the verge of unzipping the secrets of creation and peering into the pants of God himself. It appears the very fabric of the universe may well be a smart cotton twill weave.
However, Chang urged caution in further research after tests conducted last month at the Hager Pants Propulsion Collider Laboratory in Dallas suggested the possible existence of so-called anti-pants, which could, in theory, initiate a chain reaction resulting in no pants at all. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network. Mic check. Mic.
Yeah. Free Talk Live. It is Free Talk Live. You dial toll free and join us on the radio if you want. Our number for you is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, some news about Donald Trump and his opinions about North Korea, what after the failed talks that they recently attempted within the last month, and Vincent's got that story. By the way, in the studio tonight, it is Ian here.
It's Vincent.
And Rich Poe.
All right, so we're going to start out with a story that I brought in last night, but we didn't get a chance to get to it. And since you're here, Rich, I think it's an important time to talk about this one. We're all big fans of ending the war on drugs and specifically the war on cannabis. Mm-hmm. But as that process goes along, and we are certainly further now than in our lifetimes as far as the legal status of cannabis, it's, I think, legal in at least 8 states right now.
Not me. I was born in 68, so
they had prohibition in 68. The war on drugs didn't start,
but the real ramp up didn't start until 72.
True.
So, okay, I don't think there actually were legal states then, even then. So I guess you could say that
It was prohibited.
all over the country is, overall the country's better.
Yeah, it's better off now with, I think, 8 states that have legalized it, plus Washington, D.C. as well. If my count's off on that, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, it all depends on how you define legalize, how you
for
define
recreational.
decriminalize.
Yeah.
And
No, I mean for recreational. If you include all the medical
sure
states.
That, like 28 states have liberalized their marijuana laws in one way or another. Maybe
there are
it's
at least
26 or 28.
There are at least, I think, 36 that have gone medical, if I'm not mistaken. And then decrim.
Then that's progress since last I heard.
So, but, despite all the good news out there, the prohibitionists are going to keep up their mantra. They're going to keep up all the old claims, all the long disproved false, BS claims about cannabis. And so we turn to the...
But it's a gateway drug.
It's being weaponized by George Soros to turn U.S. teenagers into zombies.
That's no wait, isn't that Alex Jones?
Are you talking about the mainstream media?
Well, yeah, it's many things. Yeah,
isn't that an impression of Alex Jones? And doesn't he actually smoke marijuana?
Well, he changed it. He used to say, "I don't smoke marijuana." Now he says, "I don't smoke marijuana very often, just with Joe."
Just with Joe Rogan.
No, I don't drink anymore. I don't drink any less either.
So we turn to the New York Post and their opinion piece by former Lieutenant Governor of New York, which, of course, is one of the worst states in the Union, the least free of all the 50 states. So what does former Lieutenant Governor Betsy McConaughey have to say about it? In her piece, stop ignoring the brutal downside of legal pot. I'm ready to hear the brutal downside of legal pot, because I've never heard that claim before. Brutal. Brutal. Politicians, she says.
We keep kind of upping the ante for the clickbait, so they just go through a thesaurus.
Yeah. They're pushing to legalize recreational marijuana in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and following 10 other states. Okay, apparently it's up to 10 now. The Parent-Teacher Association, local health officials, and pediatricians are pushing back, warning about the permanent damage to youngsters' brains caused by weed. If you have children, trust the PTA, not the Pauls. Legalization delivers what politicians want most: money and power. They're salivating over the tax revenue and the authority to dole out licenses to growers and retailers. New Jersey will tax cannabis growers $42 an ounce. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy pledged to make weed legal right after taking office, but he dragged his feet until the legislation guaranteed gubernatorial control over licensing and enforcement. New Jersey lawmakers will vote on the proposal next week. In New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo initially promised that legalizing weed would be included in the state budget due later this month. Now political infighting is delaying it. Cuomo wants to control the regulatory apparatus himself, while state lawmakers want to have a hand in the pot, so to speak. New York plans to tax cannabis products at 22%. The Citizens Budget Commission says revenues should be, quote, transparently dispersed and utilized for general state operating purposes. In your dreams, she says. Pauls are already, I think that means political people, Pauls.
Like politicians.
Okay, because I was going to say, why are they picking on my family?
Right? Spelled P-O-L-S. Politicians
Polls,
are already squabbling over how to divvy up the dough. Assembly Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes of Buffalo wants the money to go to minority communities, which she claims have been unfairly targeted by anti-drug laws. That's a legitimate grievance. In the past, African Americans were more likely to be arrested for weed-related crimes than whites were, despite using it at similar rates. But legislation, or rather legalization, doesn't protect young people, black, white, or others, from injury to their still developing brains or the long-term effects of weed-caused school failure.
Wow.
You ever heard of that, Rich? Weed-caused school failure.
Weed-caused school failure. I mean, certainly I would suspect that there is going to be a correlation between teenagers that fail in school and teenagers that smoke weed. I don't think that it's, and I think that'll come from common causation. if you are sufficiently hard of carrying that you're failing in school, you're probably also not going to see any reason not to smoke weed.
Sure.
You're obviously not really into doing what other people are telling you to do right now. So I'm not surprised to see a correlation. And the other thing is, doing badly in school is painful, and people in pain tend to self-medicate. So I would suspect that you would find a statistical correlation between marijuana use and every single possible negative circumstance of your life. But that doesn't mean that the marijuana is causing the negative circumstances. It
Correct.
means that people with negative circumstances self-medicate.
Well, and like in my experience, I remember back in high school, some of the biggest losers were also like the biggest potheads, like the kind of guys who would just like they'd wear something called like a drug rug or poncho, and they would show up to class.
Rich had one of those on the other day.
I'm not making a comment. Those are comfy, but they would like show up to class just stinking of weed, and they ended up failing. While like everyone else,
you're describing me so far.
Well, no, but I'm talking about these are like 16, 17, 15-year-old kids, and then everyone else, right? Like I guess we'll quote successful people and started smoking in college. So I wouldn't doubt that there's some sort of correlation about what she's saying about the brain development for people who start younger compared to people who start older. But I don't have the science.
See, I don't know. I mean, when I best fit that description was probably when I was 16, and my best friend in those days was a guy named Jim, and Jim and I both went on to be high-powered computer programmers. So I don't think there was a lot of brain damage in between. Now, I stopped smoking weed when I was 18 and didn't start again until I was 40. But Jim smoked weed throughout his career, and seemed none the worse for it. So, the thing is, I mean, I know what you're talking about that image and that hard of caring kind of nonchalance about life. But I don't think that is a result of taking the drug. As a matter of fact,
it's a symptom of it, rather, you mean?
Well, exactly. It's exactly. And one of the things that people are looking for at that age is a place to fit in. So if there's a group of burnouts, if you will, why do they dress that way? Well, they dress that way so they can be recognized by the kind of people that they want to hang out with, just like punk rockers, just like emos, just like any other clique. So I don't think you can necessarily associate the style of the clique directly back to the drug and say they dress this way because they got high and suddenly thought this looked good, because they bought the stuff at some point. So it wasn't just, smoke some weed. I gotta wear this stuff.
While the people who might be described as losers, for instance, are more likely to kind of wear it on their sleeve, the thing is, you won't see the people who are dressed in suits, the successful people who are smoking cannabis regularly.
Well, the other thing is, call them losers, but I got more tail than I did as a computer geek.
There's more coming up here at 8:55, 450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want to join us here. The number for you is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can also join us on our website over at freetalklive.com, where you can enjoy the features there, like our Discord server, where people are hanging out during, before, and after the show. It's basically there for you 24 hours a day. So head over to discord.lrn.fm. You can link up with other Free Talk Live listeners right there. That's discord.lrn.fm. Plus, there's a couple of on-air, actually there's 4 on-air call-in lines on that Discord server. You just hop into one of those rooms, and we'll see you there and join you. And we're actually going to go to those lines here in just a moment. But first, we go to the phones, where Peter is on the line, calling from the D.C. area. Peter, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Vincent, and Rich Paul.
Hey, guys. I actually called, I think it was like a month and a half ago, about me being deep in student loan debt. I go to currently the Catholic University of America, where I'm about to finish in about a month and a half. And you told me to follow up if anything happens. And so, yeah, I'm calling up because I actually, I'm happy to say that I've been accepted into George Mason University's Master's Economics program.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. But the Mercator Center, which is like a free market so-called think tank.
Yep.
They're actually paying for my degree, so
Really?
I have no worries. Yeah, which
Wow.
is pretty cool.
Congrats. That's a big
And
deal.
So I'm not. Yeah, thank you. So I'm not really too concerned about my debt. However, I do think that our economy will soon be in a recession, and I think that they're going to blame this on Trump because Trump is so-called pro-free market. He's anti-regulation, and so I think the left, what they're going to do is say, well, here. It just comes to show that this is what capitalism does. And, of course, we know that we don't have
Well, Trump's not pro-free market.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was going to say, the reason that we're recessing right now is largely the Trump tariffs. So when the left blames Trump, they won't be wrong. But if you look at the beginning of Trump before he put those in office, we had unprecedented economic growth and we had unprecedented low unemployment.
Well, but he's painted as such by by some of his opposition, also by himself. Like at the State of the Union,
painted as free market, you mean?
Oh yeah. That's what he calls himself. Like at the State of the
Trump
Union,
has the best enemies.
At the State of the Union,
very
he
best
said
enemies.
that the country was in like a battle against socialism or something. So he's putting up that dichotomy there.
No,
I agree with a caller. I agree 100% with a caller. If we're going to blame it on the free market and they're going to use that to just steamroll socialism into the system.
Yeah, well, nothing Trump does can be blamed on the free market because Trump has been anti-free market in several ways. His budget is bigger than the budget of Obama, okay? No, he has not cut spending by one dime. He has pumped it up. So thanks, Republicans, for lubing at us.
Once again.
Lubing us up.
Once again. This isn't the first time because Republicans were in charge during Bush, too.
Bush Senior, read my lips, no new taxes. And it's what they call like crony capitalism, or as I call it, crapitalism. That's
a
what
good
they
name.
That's what they call the free market.
I call it corporatism, but that's good.
Same 6 to 1, half dozen the other.
Because I would say the first major deviation from a true free market, not everybody will agree with me on this, but I would say that the first deviation is just the creation of corporations in the first place with limited liability. Corporations are a vehicle by which people escape liability for the consequences of their actions. So why do they even exist?
To protect the wealthy and the politically connected.
From the consequences of their own action. That's why I say I don't have a problem with taxing corporations. If they imposed a fair tax and imposed it only on corporations, I'd be down.
Peter, other comments, thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think that it's the Federal Reserve that ultimately is going to cause this crisis by just trying to satisfy the markets and not really pay attention to fundamentals like excessive debt and just tremendous credit expansion that we've had from essentially the bailouts from 2009 till now. And like you guys were talking about, we have Donald Trump just piling up debt and deficits. And so I think that the left is really going to just target the wrong thing. And like you guys were saying, they're going to target Trump and his so-called free market agenda. Nevertheless, that's where I'm going to take advantage of my already expensive student loans, because I really do think that the left is going to advocate student loan relief programs to really attract.
That'll win some votes. Yep, that'll win some votes for sure.
Right, exactly. So, that's just my strategy. And again, thank you for having me on your program.
Peter, good luck with the college thing. Thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. By the way, since he was talking about debt, I saw this headline recently. U.S. credit card debt closed 2018 at a record $870 billion. It has never been as high as that.
Wow. See, what I predict from that, there's two ways that they can go. They can either print out enough money to inflate the currency enough to make that debt payable by stimulating larger dollar amounts in the economy, or because every time you inflate, debt shrinks.
Sure.
The other possibility is there's going to be an economic bubble burst because eventually these credit card companies are going to be insolvent, just like the mortgage companies were, but they can't you can't repossess the toaster somebody bought with your Visa card.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
There's some things that can be repossessed by credit card companies, but I think it's pretty rare that they do it. They certainly didn't come for the hundreds of cartons of cigarettes that I racked up on my when I exited the market. I racked up like $10,000 in credit card.
Wait, when you exited the market? What do you mean?
When I left South Carolina, when I stopped working as a computer programmer, I had like $20,000 worth of credit line on credit cards. So I was buying cigarettes in South Carolina and selling them for cash in Michigan.
Sweet.
And then when the credit cards companies called me, I just said, well, the federal government already jacked me and gave you my money. So that's all you're going to get from me. Go do something I can't say on the air.
So does that mean your credit score is in the toilet right now?
It was. That was more than a decade ago, though. It's back.
So it's back.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. All right, let's continue with your calls and thoughts here. We go to Free Market Penguin on the line on Discord. Go ahead.
Hey, guys, I wanted to talk about just something that was on my mind in regards to libertarianism. So on Monday, in the aftermath of the tragedy in New Zealand, I was at my local mosque, masjid, my place of worship, and mostly acting as in my capacity as a security guard at an interfaith vigil service we had there, and lot I can say about that. Basically, a lot of people turned out. It was great. Just a message of support and love throughout the community that we had after the synagogue shooting as well in Philadelphia, and just all kinds of different people, rabbis and different faith leaders expressing their support, and very well intended. And one thing I noticed,
we'll let you tell the rest of the story here in just a moment. That is Free Market Penguin, one of our Muslim listeners. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from Natural Botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll-free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's freetalklive.com. Spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as sub-Saharan Africa, and we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free to take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com, the brand new website from the folks over at AnyPay, which we've been talking about for quite a while here on Free Talk Live. Even before we teamed up with them officially, I was a huge fan of AnyPay. I'm so glad that Free Talk Live gets to help them get better and get more clients on board, because AnyPay makes it easy for you as a business owner or manager to accept cryptocurrency at your point of sale. So you want to accept Bitcoin or Dash, Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, and others? Well, AnyPay.global can make that possible. But their new website is HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. You go right there, and they've got a simple, 4-step process basically to get rolling, and that includes the step of installing your own cryptocurrency wallet. So if you've already got one of those, you're already one step of the way done. Go to anypay.global or their new site, helpmetakebitcoin.com. That's a good one if you want to just share it with a friend as well. Maybe you know somebody who is a merchant. They got a real life business, a brick and mortar location, and you want to help them take Bitcoin. Just send them over to helpmetakebitcoin.com. As we continue, we will take your calls and thoughts. In fact, we were talking with Free Market Penguin there in Virginia. You attend a mosque there, and this week you were telling us about an interfaith event where people from the community at large were welcomed. You mentioned rabbis and others. Do you know which religions were represented there?
Definitely Jewish and Christian, and I'm sure non-denominational, and other people from the city and university,
Gotcha.
and local schools.
Yeah. So, what else did you want to tell us about it?
And I noticed, is just kind of noticing people that some of the youngsters, some of the young ladies had, the only political thing I noticed in the whole thing is some ladies had DSA stickers on their, pins on their backpacks. Democratic, I guess that's the Democratic Socialists of America.
It is. In fact, Vincent's got news about them. If you want to pull that up, Vincent, we'll get into it here. But go ahead. What about them?
And it's not surprising the people that would attend that kind of event would lean left, to some extent. And they certainly did, including the religious leaders. But it would be nice if libertarianism had a representation in that kind of, outreach, that kind of displays of tolerance and
well, you were there,
and cooperation. And instead, what we typically see with right-wing libertarianism certainly is kind of the vast majority of times that I hear, and this is not coming from necessarily people that really introduced me to liberty, but the vast majority of the time I hear from about minority groups and different kind of minority and vulnerable groups is really kind of negativity, disparaging, and just this outright hostility to these kind of issues. And I think that doesn't really represent liberty. I understand the resentment.
You're saying, hold on,
that
you're saying
government
libertarians are hostile to the issue of being, active in the community, or I'm not sure what the issue is that you're saying they're hostile to.
Any kind of talk of race, minorities, different immigrants, different sorts of kind of cooperation, understanding, tolerance in the community. It's always, and I understand it stems from mostly a resentment that the government does try to exert its influence to centrally plan our social relations with each other, and I totally get where it comes from. But how it manifests itself is that the right-wing libertarians certainly tend to, the vast majority of the time when they mention minorities and certain issues in our society, instead of kind of saying it from a liberty perspective that kind of promotes a more diverse worldview, it's kind of more of a hostility to
I think I understand what you're saying there, but that's basically the difference between, if somebody's support is on the left because they support government redistribution of property or something, they're not libertarians at all. So to me, a left libertarian is a libertarian with kind of left-leaning social views, and a right libertarian is a libertarian with kind of right-leaning social views, but they both have the same policy prescriptions, because although libertarians do believe in tolerance, we don't believe in forced acceptance, okay? And the difference between tolerance and acceptance, I learned this in AA, the difference between tolerance and acceptance is tolerance is when you don't act against something. Acceptance is when you see it as being right and proper and the way it should be. So if I tolerate gay people, then you can be gay, I'm not going to hurt you, I'm not going to I'm not going to be mean to you, I'm not going to drive you out of the space. But you may not accept those people and say, I'm going to welcome you into my home, or I'm going to bake a cake celebrating a gay marriage. And so the left makes no separation between tolerance and acceptance in general, and that I think is a problematic piece.
Maybe, but you're talking about that's problematic for the left. What he's saying here is that he believes it's problematic that libertarians are. You're saying they're non-accepting?
Right.
Is that what you're saying, Free Market Penguin? That they're non-accepting to people of different religions, or people?
I think that no, I'm not actually. Actually, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I'm saying that the messaging tends to be very negative when these issues are brought up for the reasons I kind of speculate.
The issue of someone slaughtering innocent people, is that what issue?
No, the issue that they resent the government kind of trying to control people's relations with each other, interactions.
Okay. I'm sorry if I feel a little lost here. I thought we were talking about this interfaith vigil that happened in Virginia, and that you were complaining that libertarians weren't on the right side of supporting that.
No, I say they don't have good messaging when it comes to issues of minority groups and cooperation and tolerance. That it tends to be a very kind of resentful and hostile message.
Is this something? Hold on, before you go on,
these issues do come up in society.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a grasp of what you're saying here. Now, are you saying this is on a national level, or are you saying you're seeing this locally in Virginia where you live with the local libertarians?
I'm just saying in all forms of media and just discussion, really.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't see that.
I don't feel like you're like that here.
I'm a racial minority. I identify as human. I'm not white. People think I'm white. They misracially identify me, but actually I'm just human.
So you're saying you're in a minority because you're human? That would put you in the majority, wouldn't it?
Well, because I'm only human. I'm race free.
Right, I love that.
I've
That's
resigned from having a race. I call myself a transracial human.
Mark has also done that. I think it's a smart thing to do.
You know, I'm bisexual. I'm polyamorous.
What do you mark
I'm kinky. So that puts me in like 3 different minority.
What do you mark when you're filling out like a DMV form or something and it asks for your race? Do you put like, other
and I write in human?
Good.
Well, you know, Rich, you sound like one of these. What was it? These privileged white males who want to appropriate minority status, and I find that contemptible and sickening.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, the white male wants to be attention, always wants to be the center of attention.
You mean he's human?
I mean, I would love to get to Rich.
Everybody likes to be the
point.
I attack Rich for being white, and Ian doesn't kick me off. That's fair.
Yeah. And to
You're clearly
me,
trolling.
To me, that's how I was raised, because my father is full-blooded Armenian, and both of his parents fled the Armenian genocide in 1915. And basically everybody in their family was killed. They were teenagers. They showed up in New York City, not speaking the language, and eventually met each other and married here. And the Armenians, if you didn't know, were massacred by the Turks. There were 1.5 million Armenians at the beginning, and they killed 1 million of them.
Hey, well, but Cenk Uygur said that was a conspiracy.
And I'll get to the punchline as soon as we get back.
All right. You know what? Free Market Penguin, I think this is an interesting discussion. You're welcome to stay if you want to continue it. We will do that here in moments, because I don't think he's necessarily wrong when it comes to some libertarians, but I mean, I don't think we qualify for those comments. I think we're pretty accepting here on Free Talk Live. I mean, we've got gay co-hosts, for instance.
Yeah. There are racist libertarians, but libertarianism is not racist.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bags under the eyes, crow's feet, fine lines and wrinkles are things adults complain about as they age. Now there's Instantly Ageless. It works in minutes and is great for men and women. Here's a clip from the Rachel Ray Show testing the results of Instantly Ageless.
Board-certified dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe.
If you're looking to try to turn back the clock on a budget, in the privacy of your own home, but actually there's some recent technologies emerging, almost like changes the behavior of the skin while it sits on the skin.
She went off to try a product called Instantly Ageless.
Yeah, instantly you could see a difference. Even the cameraman were like, wow, look at the difference.
Yeah,
but I would definitely use this product.
This product, within minutes of applying it, it was actually a very dramatic rejuvenation.
Try Instantly Ageless today at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com. 30-day money-back guarantee and preferred price discount at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com.
Right now, it's looking like tonight's record $500 million Powerball drawing could be cancelled, as embarrassed lottery officials have admitted they lost the balls. Douglas Bronstein, Deputy Director of the Multi-State Lottery Association, addressed the press moments ago. We have a quote. "We know how important the balls are to a successful drawing. I saw them the other day, and I'm sure they'll turn up somewhere." Bronstein says it's usually Marketing Director Ben Callahan's job to keep an eye on the balls, but when reached for comment, Callahan said he just sits next to the balls. It's not his job to know where they are every second of every day. According to Bronstein, it's crucial they find the balls before tonight's drawing. Quote, "We'd love to use different balls, but these ones have the numbers on them." Bronstein added that once they figure out where the balls are, they promise to keep them in some sort of case instead of just lying around the office. When we return, we'll meet some of the undeterred Powerball superfans who are camping out before the big drawing dressed as their favorite numbers.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited here if you want to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms as well over at discord.lrn.fm. Jump into one of those. We'll get you on the air with us. In fact, that's what we're going to go back to here shortly. But I do want to let you know about liberty.menu. If you're an individual who rejects the initiation of force and you agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then you belong over at liberty.menu. It is, at its core, a directory for events, businesses, and digital content creators. Whatever it is that you do that you want other libertarian or liberty types to know about, this is where you can put it. It's basically a global map of liberty businesses and, again, digital content creators and all that. Go to liberty.menu and you can get started there. It's totally free to put your stuff up there. So unless you don't want some free publicity and exposure, then get on over there to liberty.menu as we continue. Ian, Vincent, and Rich in the studio tonight. Free Market Penguin is still with us. Asked him to hang on to continue this discussion because I'm curious, to expound on it a little bit. You were, I guess, talking about your interpretation of libertarians generally, that they don't seem to be particularly, would you say the word is tolerant or accepting? Rich made an interesting distinction between the two earlier tonight. How would you describe these folks?
Actually, neither, and it's a huge generalization. What I'm kind of saying is that there seems to be no place in libertarian messaging for this kind of attitude. So when minority issues or minorities come up, and I totally understand that not issues that are very, right in the forefront of libertarian discussion, but when these issues come up, it seems to me that the attitude taken towards minority groups seems to be overwhelmingly, when they're brought up, negative and disparaging.
Huh.
Well, it's just.
I
just
disagree with that, but here's what I would submit. When a minority group asks for special treatment because they're women, because they're black, because they're gay, because they're whatever, the libertarian it responds to them exactly the way they would respond to people who wanted special treatment because they were men or because they were straight or because they were white. We don't care if you're a minority group or a majority group. We believe in human rights, not group rights. Okay? So anytime you say to me, I should get special treatment because I'm blah, 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 I'm going to say, I don't care. I'm not going to treat you differently because you're black. I'm not going to treat you differently because you're white. I'm going to treat you
I
as
might treat
a
you
human.
differently because you're black. If a black guy showed up in Keene, I'd be like, thank you so much for coming here.
I mean, yeah, there's on a personal level, I might given a choice between two equal job candidates, I might well hire the minority on the thought that maybe the next guy would discriminate against him. But
just because the
to
libertarians
make that public policy, you're literally creating privilege.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on the public policy aspect. I was just commenting on how there's this lack of diversity in the libertarian movement for whatever reason. It seems to be highly white male compared to even women or blacks or anybody else. And I agree with you, Rich. We should all be humans, and we all are humans, and we ought to reject judging anyone based on the color of their skin. That said, I gotta say I don't necessarily share your viewpoint, Free Market Penguin. At least it's not been my experience with libertarians. They've always been welcoming towards everybody, no matter what the color of their skin or their gender. I haven't had that experience.
Especially now, because a lot of the racists who called themselves libertarians are Trumpsters now. So they've jumped ship, and good riddance to them.
What were you saying? Nail on the head? What now?
Yeah, I'm really talking about more of a messaging thing. So when the message when these issues come up, as they do in political discussion and in discussion of events in general, and the messaging is, I mean, obviously we all know, we agree as libertarians that we want so peaceful and good solution, freedom-oriented solutions. We don't want government solutions, and but when we message that out, it just seems to be like this pretty awful PR, which leads to this overwhelmingly dominance of this one group in
what I'd like to invite you to do is to, when you see this happening, bring it up specifically, because I mean it's hard to really comment on something that is just a general feeling that you have based on whatever experiences that you've had. I certainly don't want to deny that you've had these experiences.
Well, they're not my experience. It's just messaging.
Okay, but you're talking about messaging.
Okay, well, can you give us an instance where the Libertarian Party has maybe in something official had bad messaging?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, you've seen this messaging.
Is there a particular person that you've seen say these things?
Yeah, so obviously you've seen things that I haven't seen. I don't pay any attention to the Libertarian Party's press releases. I don't know what it is that they're saying or how intolerant that they're being, or cold or whatever. So I'd be more curious to see.
Well, he's talking about libertarians. I don't know what the LP has anything to do with it.
Yeah, correct.
But they're the ones who are doing a lot of messaging, right? I mean, so
yeah.
Well, no, I'm implying for not libertarian. That was a joke.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Yeah, it would have been funny if they weren't.
But you're not just talking about the Libertarian Party, then. You're talking about libertarians in general just communicating as individuals, or are you talking about as like an organization with press releases and that kind of thing?
No, I'm talking about libertarian people in general. And what I'm basically saying is instead of basically responding negatively or sarcastically to when these issues of minority groups and minority rights and racial hierarchies are brought up, kind of, instead of reacting in a negative or angry or sarcastic way that I often kind of see in general, but to react in a positive way that directs it towards freedom and liberty and taking other groups into consideration, which is hard when those groups aren't already included within the liberty community because of just
they're certainly welcome.
That's the challenge.
Now, are you saying that now Free Talk Live is obviously a messaging platform for libertarianism? Are you saying this applies to this show?
None of the main hosts. I mean, you guys, especially you, Ian, has really done to bring me to liberty in the show. And I've always seen a very good example in you specifically, and
because I don't think our co-hosts are particularly intolerant or rude or doing bad
Cantwell, but he's gone.
He's not a host.
That reason.
He's not a Free Talk Live host. And he was fine.
There's a bit of sarcasm when it comes to these issues, and I think when it comes to actually engaging with these non-libertarians. And to try to kind of spread the ideas of liberty, I think people could take a more positive approach when kind of discussing these issues.
I agree that libertarians should get out in the community more often and get out from behind their
keyboards.
Their keyboards. I totally agree with that. I thank you for the call tonight, Free Market Penguin. Appreciate the discussion.
Absolutely.
And give us a specific example if you come across it, because I'd be interested in kind of just seeing a more specific example of this discussion. I'm not denying that it's true. I think that's definitely probably true of the more right-wing sort of the former conservatives who've become libertarian. I can see that being the case. But at least here in Keene, New Hampshire, where a bunch of liberty-minded folks have migrated to, like you and I, Rich, We had Will Coley living here for a while, who is a Muslim. And he opened a mosque. Unfortunately, he had to leave a couple months ago due to an ailing father down in Florida, and we're hoping that he'll come back sooner rather than later. But Will put together a community picnic kind of thing, like a cookout kind of event for people in the community. Just, not just libertarians, not just Muslims, but invited everybody, including, city councilors and other community members to this event. And kind of like what Free Market Penguin was pointing out about the mosque event that he attended, it was attended mostly by lefties. However, here we had a good libertarian contingent that was attending that particular event. Now, you can argue that's because we had a guy who, is a libertarian who was the imam. But that said, we were there nonetheless. And so I think that it may depend on the kind of libertarians you're hanging out with. Maybe the group of people that has moved here to New Hampshire would be more welcoming and more open-minded, so to speak, less likely to be critical of people because they're different.
I think so. But the other thing is that libertarians tend to have a disdain for political correctness. Like, I am right there with Jordan Peterson that I use preferred pronouns for transsexuals, and I will continue doing so unless and until they legally require that I do so. And as soon as they legally require that I do so, then I'm going to stop respecting pronoun requests.
Fair enough. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That tends to be how I, respond to being forced to do something, is I tend to just do the opposite.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, more coming up. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 2 is next.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com. If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading around $1,317, silver at $15.53, and Bitcoin is trading around $3,972. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, a Las Vegas police officer took videos with her cell phone. as she forced a mentally ill man to dance for her, taunting a man as a fellow cop force-fed him gummy bears, recorded herself demanding to see a handcuffed man's genitalia, and used every racial slur under the sun. The Free Thought Project reports the conduct was so egregious, Officer Rachel Sorkow was arrested this month on multiple charges. The deranged and cruel officer would eventually get exposed for her sick actions after she'd proudly share the footage with friends, fellow cops, and family. To Officer Sorkow, humiliating innocent mentally ill people while hurling racial slurs was entertainment fit for the whole family. Not only was Sorkow involved in a sick racist power trip, but the public servant was also pimping out her department's background check capabilities and doing favors for criminals by looking up their status in the system. Sorkow's sick acts of racism and forced humiliation would have likely been overlooked and dismissed had she not been caught using the background check system. She was caught abusing the system on at least 19 different occasions. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. I'm Mick Murrow reporting. Your news now continues. Israel's 3 largest banks have all been ordered to pay record fines, which collectively are set to total over $1 billion to the U.S. government, after the banks were found to have actively colluded with thousands of wealthy Americans in massive tax evasion schemes. Mint Press News reports the scandal has been reported widely in Israel, but has garnered little attention in the United States. The media blackout has been so surprising it was even directly mentioned by the Times of Israel, given that similar revelations about other banks and offshore tax evasion schemes, such as those contained within the Panama Papers, led to global protests and even the resignations of some world leaders. The settlements are the end result of a series of Department of Justice probes that were related to the DOJ's 2007 investigation targeting UBS AG, Switzerland's largest bank. The focus of the probe turned to Israel a few years later in 2011, when it was determined that the Swiss subsidiaries of several of Israel's largest banks had actively aided Americans seeking to launder their money. If the black smoke over the Paris skyline and charred cars and buildings, which have become characteristic of France's increasingly violent yellow vest protests over the past months, weren't alarming enough, things look to get much worse as the government prepares to escalate. The anti-media reports that in an effort to clamp down on the unraveling security situation, which has lately seen banks and residential buildings torched and luxury stores and restaurants vandalized and destroyed, the French authorities have announced the deployment of anti-terrorism military forces in order to protect and secure public buildings. Following the worsening protest situation of the past weekend, which nearly turned deadly for random civilians caught up in the mayhem of rioters clashing with police, the government will redirect counter-terror troops from Operation Sentinel to focus on Yellow Vest-related threats. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Following earlier reports of 27-year-old Mark Felder's profound and startling level of pride in his alma mater, the University of Miami alumnus spoke to Onion reporters about his strong affection for the academic institution that left him totally unprepared for the job market and floundering in $50,000 of debt.
I would not trade my time at the University of Miami for anything. Miami has the best college experience in the country, hands down. I had an awesome time there, and it's an amazing place. We've got awesome bars, awesome sports, an awesome campus, and we're pretty much right next to the beach. I mean, what more could you want? You'd have to be crazy crazy not to go there.
Felder, who paid over $140,000 in tuition, told reporters he takes an annual trip to see a Hurricanes football game and visit the university that failed to teach him any marketable job skills whatsoever, leaving him so financially helpless he was forced to move back in with his parents after graduating.
AMI, fight. Yeah, it's all about the U, baby. All about the U. That's what I'm talking about. Go Canes, baby.
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the second hour of the program. You can dial in toll-free to bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you here tonight, you've got Ian.
Yeah, I got Vincent.
And Rich Paul, Pope Indigent the First.
Also, coming up later tonight, we're going to do a after show, as we like to call it, Freer Talk Live, because we don't have the pesky FCC getting in the way of the things that we might want to say on the air. That'll be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, just after the radio show version of Free Talk Live ends. We will continue as an after show with no FCC censorship on the Twitch platform. So we'll be exclusively on Twitch over at twitch.lrn.fm. Make sure you go follow our channel there. That's twitch.lrn.fm. That is our video streaming platform, our primary video streaming platform. We're on YouTube, but the after show will not be on YouTube. It's only on Twitch. So once again, twitch.lrn.fm. We go back to the phones, to the fun. Coming up, we still got to get to the Trump, North Korea update that you've got, Vincent. Plus, somebody brought up the DSA last hour, and you had a story about that as well. The Democratic Socialists of America, I think is what that stands for. So yeah, we'll get into that too. But let's go first to Gia on the line in California. Gia, you're on Free Talk Live.
Well, hi, if it isn't my favorite three cis white evil pieces of garbage, Rich, Vincent, and Ian. How are you queens tonight?
Kiss, kiss.
Oh, yes, to you too, girl. Did you get your girdle on okay there, Rich, or were you too high too, girl?
Oh, don't start with me, girlfriend. I got the book on you.
Oh, okay, we'll go at it later, Richie. Don't worry, honey. Listen, remember,
don't threaten me with a good time.
I will. I won't say that word, but I will. Listen, first of all, castrate Christopher Cantwell. I am an Antifa member, a trans woman.
Is this a new movement? Castrate Christopher Cantwell?
It's very alliterative.
It is alliterative, yeah.
Yes,
okay, nothing that requires me to handle Chris's nuts is even on the table. Not even on the table. You gotta, I
bet Gia would do it. She'd probably volunteer.
If you do it, I won't stop you. I mean, I wrote him off when he went Nazi. But
I understand. Listen,
I'm not going to do it.
Okay, I know you're busy. I have 4 points as to how evil, cis, straight, white pieces of garbage, such as yourself, can atone for your atrocities to people of color and trans women such as me. Would you like to hear them really quickly?
Let's hear it, although I don't agree with your assessment, but go ahead.
I think your assessment is atrocious, but go ahead.
Thank you. And by the way, that previous caller was right. Minorities and people of color don't have to have specific examples, honey. They just have to exist, and scum like you white, straight garbage bags have to exist. So here we go.
You don't know if I'm white or not.
Did you just
says the nervous white man, nervous about being called racist and trying to
Did you just assume my gender?
You look like Derek Vineyard did not shave his head, honey. Okay?
Oh, so now we're body shaming.
American History X, that was amazing. That was Edward Norton's character.
Not you, honey.
All bodies are beautiful, sweetheart.
Okay, listen. Let me get through these, and I'll get off here.
Okay.
Okay.
Just don't splash it on me.
Number one. Thank you.
You got to pay for that.
Real quick. Number one. Thank you. White, straight, cis men apologize for their existence. Number two.
Okay, that's never happened here.
Cis men Okay, well,
these are her demands.
Oh, I thought you were saying we're supposed to apologize. Okay, that we did.
No, this is what we have to do to make up for being white.
Okay, gotcha.
And straight cis men, pieces of garbage.
It gets worse. I'll be done quickly. It gets worse, so thank you for your time. Here we go.
I'm only mostly straight, by the way.
No, white, straight. white straight cis men voluntarily castrate themselves. This could be chemical or physical, like Depo-Provera for the pedophiles, so we don't have to. So
They
there you
use
go. There's some
Depo-Provera on
feminism from
males?
Antifa.
Is that a thing?
We can use that on you guys. Yeah, you need it.
No, but is that a thing? Depo-Provera? That's like a female birth control shot. I didn't know they use that on men for castration. Is that a thing?
Oh, well, it might be, but back in
Okay, you don't
criminal
know.
justice,
Gotcha.
That would deprive the women of the world of so much joy, though. I think that's an anti-woman proposal.
Sure.
Well, it's very chauvinistic of you, Rich.
I mean, really, if you look at supply and demand, if you want to make things better for women, you have to increase the supply of available men. And if you want to make things better for men, you have to increase the supply of available women.
No. There's robots now, Rich. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah. I hang with hankers. One of them would play a practical joke on me and rip my dick off.
God, I'm going to have to dump you on that. Please don't say that again.
I thought I could say that. Sorry,
say
bro.
No.
Ian, could I get through 3 and 4 real quickly, please?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, hon. Okay, for an evil, straight, cis piece of dog garbage, you're okay. So listen, 3.
Do dogs
white,
make garbage?
Straight, cis men like young Vincent there, scumbag, surrender all property, communication, and transportation to their local people of color and LGBTQ minorities, which is very fair. And number 4, white, straight, cis men kill themselves. So what do you girls think about that?
Give up all your property and kill yourself.
In what order do you want all of that to happen in?
In the exact order that I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Jed.
Antifa, honey.
Appreciate it. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Yeah, I don't think I owe anybody anything by virtue of the fact that my mother pushed me out of her womb with this particular configuration. I just don't buy that.
Yeah.
Well, but it's because you as both of you as white men or just whites in general are profiting, right? You're profiting off of the institutionalized racism that was established through slavery, which made America the richest country in the world, and that's why the U.S. is advanced, because they use slavery.
See, that's how public schools teach American history.
Actually, I learned that from Michael Moore.
The actual thing is, slavery was such a detriment to the economy where it was practiced that it made it impossible for the South to defend itself, because they had no industrial plant, because they were living in some sort of nightmarish feudalist fantasy, and not capitalism.
No, absolutely. Yeah, obviously I'm being sarcastic. But yeah, in Bowling for Columbine, during the cartoon segment, that's what they said. We're like, what was it? He had like some South Park imitator on there, and it was like, was the white man used guns to institute slavery, which made America the richest country in the world. And I was watching with my father, and he like almost threw the remote at the TV. And it was like, it was Michael Moore's attempt to tie gun ownership to racism.
Wow.
We continue. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. Let's go to Ron in New York, also on our Discord call-in lines. Go ahead, Ron.
Hi.
Hey.
Yang Gang, 2020.
Who?
But,
the Yang Gang.
Yang Gang.
What's this all about?
So there's this guy who's actually like from right around here in New York, who's a Democratic candidate for president. He's an entrepreneur named Andrew Yang. And he's proposing universal basic income, for those who don't know, which would mean that he would give everybody $1,000 a month. But it's this big meme, and all these libertarians are like sarcastically supporting him.
Why?
Because his ideas are so unlibertarian.
Well, he's not a libertarian, right? He's a Democrat.
No, he's not a libertarian. And one of the things.
So why would a libertarian be sarcastically supporting him?
Well, sarcastically supporting somebody, to me, is putting out things that are basically, they look like pro Yang propaganda at first glance, but the arguments are made badly. Things are misspelled. I used to have an account on Red State called American Hero, where where I played this being the idiot neocon.
I see, like the guy with the Moran sign.
Yes,
like that.
Yes, that's the guy.
Okay. So you're talking about libertarians. They're online. They're posting memes about this Yang guy.
Yeah,
what's the point, though? Like, what? I mean, is it just for the lulz? It's for the lulz. They're laughing.
For the lulz and to discredit his argument.
All right, stand by.
I've been talking about this on QA for the past 2 weeks, so I'm surprised, Ian, you're
Well, I have to ask for people that don't, that are out there. I know you talked about it last night on your show, but not everybody listening to us right now is aware of that. So, more coming up here, 855, 450, free. We'll find out about this Yang character, and it's Free Talk Live.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition. The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? 1? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadavi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You can get interactive there with other Free Talk Live listeners anytime that you want. And I also want to make sure that you know about what we're doing over at Twitch. Right now, we've got a goal. We would like to get to the Twitch partner level, and honestly, we're a bit of a ways away from it right now. So the more people that we can get to help out with this, the better off we're going to be. If you aren't yet following us on our Twitch channel, please drop by twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Make sure you got an account, and that only takes a moment. It's free to get an account set up. And then, again, go to twitch.lrn.fm, hit the follow button. And then if you want to really go above and beyond the Call of Duty, just leave your browser window open or leave a tab open to our Twitch channel. That way it's always on, because what we have to do to get to Twitch partner level is hit 75 concurrent viewers over a month's time, basically. And a typical show runs about 15 to 30, so we still not quite halfway there yet. So the more people that we can get to keep their browser window open, the better off we're going to be. Now, just to be clear, leaving your browser window open doesn't mean that you'll count as a viewer. If you're not there, they've got some kind of script that will detect that. But if you are at your computer, then they'll detect that you're there, and then you will be counted as a viewer, and that'll help us get to that next level. And being a Twitch partner means that we can get more exposure on Twitch, and the more exposure we can get on Twitch, the more new people we can bring to the ideas of freedom. So there's a big audience out there on the Twitch platform, millions of people, tending to be, I think, towards the younger side of things on Twitch. I don't know how many elderly folks there are watching Twitch streamers, but we do want to reach new people, and this is a way for us to do it. So we've obviously got, we're very successful on broadcast radio. We've got 194 radio stations coast to coast. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of listeners that equates to over a week's period of time. But we're still pretty small on Twitch, so we could use your help. Just drop by twitch.lrn.fm, hit the follow button, and do us a favor. Just leave that browser window open there and keep it open as long as you can, maybe for the next couple months if you possibly can. So if you've got a computer at home or at work, that's a good thing that you can do for us. So we'll continue with your calls and thoughts. Ron is on the line. He was calling about this Andrew Yang Gang. The Yang Gang. Now, are these Yang Gang people, is it like a mix of people who honestly support him and people who don't support him? They're just trolling? What is your assessment of this Yang Gang?
So he started the term Yang Gang.
Okay.
And it was just so cheesy. It's like him with a bunch of bros and a picture on social media. And he's like, we're the Yang, hashtag Yang Gang. And it was so cheesy. So everybody kept making fun of it. And they were like, oh, I'm a part of the Yang Gang. But now it's just kind of been adopted. And he's even gotten sort of like the MAGA type of caps, like baseball caps, that say Yang 2020 on.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just hilarious. And then also, Mike Gravel is apparently going to get in, or he's most likely going to get in. Mike Gravel being the former Alaska senator who ran for the Democratic nomination in 2008 and then sought out the Libertarian nomination.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was sort of noteworthy, not because he was in any way really a libertarian, but he did seem to be kind of anti-war, if I recall.
Yeah, he was anti-war. He was best of a bad lot on the Democratic side, but Ron Paul was running on the Republican side, so I didn't have time or energy for Gravel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's he doing now?
He might be running for president again. So he's 88 years old.
Jesus.
But yeah.
That's even older than Bernie.
Wow.
He is. He's 10 years older. But I guess he's also anti-gun control, too. So that might not hurt him. Or that might not help with Democrats. But I guess the Wall Street Journal...
Well, it helps him with me.
Yeah.
That's the number one issue to me.
Really? Gun control?
Gun control, yeah. No matter what comes, the more guns there are out there, the better.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
The two most important issues to me are being against gun control and being against foreign intervention.
It must be weird to be against gun control and live in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
You know, we got a Free State Project going up here. We want your kind.
Yeah, I know. I heard it. Yeah.
Only got to move a few hours to the east. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Ron. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I mean, if you're in New York, you are in the 50th least free state, and it's 50th by a mile. Number 49 is way up compared to where number 50 is on that list.
Wouldn't that be the first least free state or the 50th most free state?
No, it wouldn't be the 50th. You're right.
It's
yeah,
a
you're
glass
right.
half full, half empty.
It is the
kind of
least
thing.
free state is
Correct.
the easiest way to say it.
I wonder if Manhattan accounts for most of that, because like everything that I hear way more just disgusting statist totalitarian crap coming out of California than I ever do from New York. So I'm surprised that California isn't number 50.
Yeah. The thing that would save New York State would be to spawn New York City as a city-state. Let it be the 51st state.
Or just drop a tactical nuke on it and be rid of all of our problems.
Well, but Broadway, bro.
No, dude.
The thing is, have you ever chilled in New York City? New York City, from a libertarian point of view, kind of rocks from an agorist point of view, let me say, because everything's illegal and nobody cares.
Well,
that's true. There's wide disobedience in New York City.
They don't care. You can find after-hours clubs. You can find marijuana clubs. You can find sex clubs, prostitution clubs, brothels, drugs.
However, the people there are pretty statist. Even though you can find all that stuff, the people of New York City are notoriously pro-government.
The ones with political power certainly are.
Or the ones who are dependent on state handouts.
And the thing is, but there's a mix. The people who are dependent on state handouts probably don't care about what you do with your personal life. And,
but
personally,
they'll vote for whoever gives them the most
we
money.
talk about welfare queens, but there's a disconnect in that, because these welfare queens, why are they on welfare? They're on welfare
because the government offers free
because
money.
there aren't any jobs, and because they're pursuing rational self-interest. If you're going to give me free money for the rest of my life, I would be stupid to turn that down. From a self-interest point of view, it's only if I'm collectivist that I say I shouldn't abuse the system. If I'm being an individualist, I should say, well, the system is stupid, and therefore, if I can abuse it to my benefit, I'm gonna, I'm going to do bad things to it, give it $40 and jump out the window.
I don't know why you're defending these people. I mean, it's stealing, and also but
it's not stealing. Collecting taxes is stealing.
Well, no, yeah, and they're benefiting from that. They're accepting stolen money.
Well, yeah, but then again, they've also had their liberties stolen. So, you got to figure everybody in America has had liberty of infinite value stolen from them by the government.
Okay, and that
so
sucks.
the government owes them.
I don't support that, but that doesn't justify for bad behavior. And these are the ones that's how they get people. It's called the Democrat plantation, because they keep voting for these politicians who give them free stuff because we're absolutely dependent on it.
Hold that thought, guys. We can come back here in a moment. I love a good disagreement among the co-hosts here, so we can get into it deeper in moments. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733 if you want to join us. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Janess has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to gcnlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to gcnlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
The warning signs.
First, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me about my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free and join us here. Our number 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. Are you new to the world of cryptocurrency? Well, the folks over at Bitcoin.com have the Bitcoin Academy. You can check out when you get a few minutes to learn the basics about Bitcoin and crypto. Get over to Bitcoin.com. You'll find that there, as well as other great features like their news site. The latest news headlines updated multiple times a day, at least daily, over at news.bitcoin.com. They also have a Bitcoin forum where you can engage with the community. Plus, they can help you choose a Bitcoin wallet, buy some Bitcoin, and show you where you can spend it over at bitcoin.com. As we continue, you guys were debating the issue of being a libertarian and accepting welfare or pursuing the acceptance of welfare. And Rich, basically your argument is the government has been screwing people over. They've been destroying their freedoms. What's the big deal if you take a little bit of money back?
Yeah, the bottom line is you have a right to take anything from government at any time because we are at war with the government. And the government, more importantly, is at war with us, whether we like it or not. So to me, everything is a weapon. Okay, so if the enemy throws down an M16 on a battlefield, am I going to keep my AR-15 or am I going to pick up his M16? I'm going to pick up his M16.
But Rich,
even though it was paid for with tax dollars.
But Rich, why do they want? They want people on welfare. They've said back, via what was it?
They want people to vote, and they pay for it by putting people on welfare.
But they want also people dependent
take the welfare and don't vote Democratic, then that's a loss for them. They're paying for it, but they're not getting their quid pro quo.
But then they become dependent. It's all about dependency. They want as many people dependent on them as possible. It was like some of the mining areas of West Virginia. They refused to accept welfare because of a work ethic, and then finally the economy got so bad because of Obama and all the regulation in the coal industry that they finally started accepting welfare. And then one of the White House czar or whoever was working for the government, they got an award or something, and they said, "What? Yep, we broke Mountain Pride." So they want people to be on welfare. They were happy that people were going on the dole. So the government wants it because that's the best way they can control people.
If there's anybody out there who is on the dole, then my answer is don't be bought. Take the money, because why not take the money? Otherwise, they're going to turn it into bombs and drop it on Iraq. But don't be bought. Don't let it buy your silence. Don't let it buy your consent. Take their money and use it to fight against the system. In martial arts, they always tell you to use your enemy's energy against him. There's a difference. There is a difference between taking welfare and being bought out and taking welfare as a means of using the enemy's energy against him. So long as you keep sight of what you're doing, I have no moral problem with the latter.
Well, and I can guarantee 99% of welfare recipients don't share that view and will continue happily voting for whoever will provide them with more stuff. That's why it's like the
Rich
whole
isn't saying he's in favor of welfare. I would imagine, Rich, if you could press a button and abolish the program, you would.
Right.
But since it's there, what you're saying is, well, why, if it's otherwise no cost, why not take it? Now, I'm not saying there's no cost, because I think there's the obedience cost, and they might get a little more involved in your life.
Well, the thing is, it's like if Yang ever got in, we've been talking about Yang. If Yang got in, there was a minimum guaranteed income, that would be groovy for me, because I would be an anti-government activist 24 hours a day. Now, eventually, I would destroy that income that I had, but that's okay, because my liberty to me is more important than the income.
Right.
So I say take the money, but don't ever let the money become more important to you than winning back your liberty. Use the money to win back your liberty. Donate it to the Libertarian Party.
Because it's not
don't do that. Don't do that. No, buy more ammo and guns. Yeah, don't to any political party. Don't
wait a minute. I want Libertarians to buy more ammo and guns.
Well, I'm just saying, unless you buy like a shirt or something of value from like either a candidate, an organization, or something, don't straight up give them money, because you're giving the CEO or the person on top, whoever gets most of that money, just more money to buy a pool.
It makes more sense to buy drugs and guns.
When you donate money to the Church of the Invisible Hand, what you get is I stay alive and I get to keep bringing you quality content.
You didn't say the Church of the Invisible Hand.
But it's true of the Libertarian Party as well. They're producing content and they're getting paid for it.
They're controlled opposition.
And their content's not as
well.
principled.
They've got a way bigger audience than I do.
Okay, well, so does CNN.
They need to not be principled. The Libertarian Party should never pretend to be a principled libertarian or to be a principled anarchist organization, because if a principled anarchist organization woke up one morning and discovered that it was a political party, it would shoot itself in the head and cease to exist. So the political party should never claim to be an anarchist organization, even if it is an organization of anarchists.
Well, it's controlled opposition.
It should be used to move. I don't know that it's controlled. I hope it's controlled.
Ian, didn't you say the Libertarian Party is infiltrated by conservatives? Right? You've said that.
Well, it's been infiltrated by everybody.
I think it's been infiltrated by
guess
political
what? If they infiltrate and vote Libertarian, we
liars,
can't have two people talking at once.
And yeah, it's just a total charlatan organization, in my opinion. And it's just controlled opposition. They're not fighting for liberty. They're fighting for their own brand, their own money. And yeah, don't give them any money. Don't support it. At least support like maybe local people that you trust or whatever. But don't give it to that national organization. It's a waste of money.
Let's get back to your calls and thoughts.
It's detrimental to liberty.
We've got Tom. He's in New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
I was just thinking about evolution and how, of course, we are all the product of our ancestors. And,
amen, brother.
Well, you take a look over the centuries, a lot of mothers died in childbirth. And if a guy is 40 years old and his wife dies in childbirth and he's raising this army and he's going to go find another woman to help raise his army or whatever, The guys
Is army the term you're using
for?
for his family?
Yeah, raising
Okay.
his children.
Strange.
Okay, the guy who's turned on and excited about a 50-year-old woman marries her, and they don't make any more children, though, because she's too old now.
Right.
Pretty much. But the guy who gets all excited and turned on by a woman who's in her 20s, then they get married, and then they have more children. So, you know, the ancestor pool of ours would be, you know, over the centuries, you know, getting more of these guys who are excited by younger women in our ancestor pool. So it is a very natural thing for guys who are like middle age to be more excited by younger women.
Are you trying to convince
than by
yourself
older
or
women.
us?
I'm trying to explain. You know,
That's probably true, but then if you're attracted to prepubescent girls, then that would be biologically self-destructive.
That's called
right?
being a hebephile.
Not only that, but
No, that would be a
then
pedophile.
you don't make if you don't make a baby.
Yeah, prepubescent
if
is
she's too young or if
pedophile.
she's too old. But what the other part is, if guys who would divorce their wife at that age and find somebody who's younger, you know, Mother Nature doesn't care about right and wrong. Mother Nature only cares about how many more babies get.
So,
produced.
just to be clear, you're making the argument that men are attracted to younger women.
Well, I'm explaining why.
And you're explaining
it happens
why.
to be
He's
think I
saying
get it.
there's an evolutionary bias toward men being attracted
Because younger
to
means
younger
more
women.
fertile.
That's right.
Younger
That's
means
right.
more fertile, and as we talk about the
babies.
children.
It's,
the other thing
I would
is-
have to say young and nubile because there's a limit to where young ceases to be beneficial and becomes detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So,
Now, the other part of it is that if her body is not capable of producing any milk, then those babies aren't going to thrive unless you can afford a wet nurse. And these babies that die, they're malnourished. They, you know, the first sign of any kind of epidemic, they're the first ones to go. So guys who get excited.
well, I mean,
by
you can do
women with
formula,
larger
right?
breasts,
No, but that's very detrimental to the child's health, like formula babies versus like breastfeeding.
That's what they say, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's breastfeeding, you know, it's natural. It has all the immune boosting functions compared to formula. It's like you can't raise a lamb on formula. You have to raise it on actual lamb's milk. Otherwise, it'll get too sick and weak and die.
Tom, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. The toll-free number here if you want to
It's the
join
same
us.
thing with babies. human babies.
855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number, 855-450-3733. We also have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you if you want to jump in. Do that, and you'll sound really good, almost like you're sitting here with us. Go to discord.lrn.fm. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 31st to June 3rd for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into ancient aliens, human origins, crop circles, and UFO sightings. More than 100 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts like Giorgio Tsoukalos, David Wilcock, Linda Moulton Howe, Eric Von Daniken, Doc Wallach, and so many more. Get your tickets today at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio. Take control of the airwaves toll free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. By the way, I want to say thanks to Save a Horse, who is a Free Talk Live silver amplifier. Save a Horse, and I'm not sure off the top of my head whether that is a male or a female, but that is the name that they wanted used on the air. And silver means $5 a month. That means they're contributing $5 a month, maybe via PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin BTC over to the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. Just go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can get signed up there, and you'll get access to some special bonuses, some perks for you as an amplifier, and we certainly appreciate it. It makes a big difference for us when you become an amplifier at amp.freetalklive.com. And again, you get some cool perks, and you can see how we're spending the money there over at amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, let's see here. We had all this other news to talk about. The DSA was brought up earlier tonight by one of our callers, Vincent, and I did ask you to pull up your related show prep on that. DSA standing for the Democratic Socialists of America?
Yes.
And I guess Bernie Sanders is in a bit of a spat with them, or what's going on?
Well, his the title, this is from Vox.com, which is a left-wing propaganda outlet, but it's titled, Bernie Sanders' reparations comments caused rift over DSA endorsement. And the subhead here is, Democratic Socialists of America endorsed Sanders on Thursday, despite pushback from some members over his comments on reparations.
Reparations being the idea that certain groups of people believe they're owed money because of atrocities that might have happened to their relatives who are dead.
Yes, in this case, African Americans or certain ones, wanting believing that they deserve slavery reparations from white people.
And so the Democratic Socialists are split over this, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it goes in here. I'll just begin right away. So the Democratic Socialists of America have endorsed Bernie Sanders' campaign for president despite some consternation within the organization regarding his comments on reparations. The DSA announced its Sanders endorsement on Thursday evening after a meeting of its National Political Committee. The decision was widely anticipated, but there was a wrinkle. The group's Afro-Socialist and Socialists of Color Caucus, a section within the organization focused on race and people of color, had asked the 16-member committee to withhold its endorsement of Sanders over his stance on reparations. The independent Vermont senator...
Which is to say he's against them.
It goes on here. The independent Vermont senator has declined to back reparations for the descendants of slaves in the United States, arguing that broader anti-poverty programs will help address inequality. And that's not clear what the term means. So he's basically favoring one system.
He wants welfare for everybody.
Well, one system of wealth redistribution over the other. That's more explicit. DSA's members have previously voted 76% to 24% to endorse Sanders in a poll conducted by the organization's leadership this month.
Which, by the way, is not a lot of people. There are not a lot of people in the DSA, even though they have had numbers growing. Their membership numbers have come up significantly since Trump got into office, but it's still, I think, only like 50 or 60,000.
I'd say also it has to do with the fact that so many people are going to college now, and there's all these just openly Marxist professors that I see.
But there's always been openly Marxist
but
professors.
not every. Yeah, but well, I mean, beginning
it
from the
hasn't been exclusively openly Marxist. I mean, there was a time.
It's still
when,
not exclusive.
Well, no, it's mainly Marxist professors, and also more people are going to college now because like everyone needs to go, right? That's
no, they
what
don't.
No, that's what they tell people in the public
that is
schools,
what they tell
right?
them, yeah.
So I'm just saying, after all these years of public school indoctrination, daycare, even from daycare indoctrination, kindergarten, all the way up to college. So I think it's entirely feasible that the Democratic Socialists of America become a major third party in the United States in a similar way that the New Democratic Party is a major socialist or more socialist third party in Canada, or Labour is in the UK. That's just my prediction.
See, I don't know. I expect these kids to grow out of socialism the same way they grew out of Santa Claus. Eventually they find out it's a myth. Now, it's more difficult for them to find out it's a myth now because they're in a situation which is mostly socialist, a university, and it's an area where incredible amounts of money are being pumped into it in the form of student loans. So it looks pretty good. But when they're out in the world working, I think things are going to change.
Well, but you also have a bunch of geezers like in Vermont who still believe in socialism. You have like, I can't tell you how many boomers believe in socialism. And with these people,
if you look at the belief in socialism versus age, people do tend to age out of it.
Well, I mean, I haven't looked at that, so I can't
just
speak
the difference
to it.
Between generations.
What I think is different about this, let's say millennials, right, if all the college debt, is that there's going to be, socialists are going to take advantage of that by saying they need to have, like, by offering debt amnesty or some sort of wealth redistribution or whatever.
So those of you who didn't go to college get to pay for the college of those who did.
Exactly. Right. So the socialists are providing a huge incentive for millennial college students to support them.
But a lot of the millennials were never college students, so that's also a huge disincentive for the people who were millennial and not college students to say,
what portion?
I'm going to pay for these kids who went to school. What portion?
Yeah, what portion of millennials didn't go to college?
The ones who didn't go to college.
I know. I'm just curious as to. I'm not expecting you to know.
I don't know what the demographics of that group is, but I know that there are millennials who didn't go to college.
Well, of course there are.
Here we go. NBC News, April 4th, 2018 poll. Majority of millennials are in debt, hitting pause major life events. So maybe it's not all credit card debt and student loans. So they say most of them, according to this poll, right, are in debt. I'd say it's you're more likely to be in college, student loan debt because they're bigger and you can't declare bankruptcy of that compared to credit card debt. So I stand by most millennials.
There's a certain, the thing is, credit card debt and student loan debt are not the same thing. To say that the majority of millennials are in debt is not to say that the majority of millennials have graduated college. There's also the people who go to college and don't graduate. Although, of course, they would benefit from student loan forgiveness.
So it is going to be kind of interesting to see, what happens this time around to the Democrats as far as, last time there was that controversy between Sanders and Hillary Clinton where it turned out that Hillary Clinton was cheating during the Democratic primary. Now, she hasn't thrown in yet, has she, into this?
Oh, she's been flip-flopping a lot. She says she won't and then says, oh, never say never. So we're unsure. She's such a dishonest person.
She may be waiting to see who else jumps in. But there's a large field of candidates from what I understand thus far, and of course they're all going to be attacking one another, and so it's probably going to get pretty ugly. It should be interesting to see if there are further schisms, because there was talk during the last election on both the Democrat and the Republican sides that the election was going to create, schisms within the Democrat and the Republican Party. Like the people who are anti-Trump were supposed to be splitting off from the Republicans, but it looks like they've fallen into line, and the Democrats, of course, have also fallen into line.
Political power is almost irresistible. People always say that libertarians talk about what's bad and they never talk about what to substitute for it. Well, student loans, Milton Friedman had a great idea in terms of substitute. And what it was companies could pay for students to go to school. And
some do.
And afterwards, he was talking about like insurance companies or somebody who had mathematical analysts and actuaries to do the calculations, but basically the insurance company would pay for the student to go to school, and then would, after the student got out of school, get a portion of their earnings thereafter. And that way you don't have to pay for your schooling before you're able to earn money, but the incentives on that insurance company would be, don't pay for the education of students who are going into feminist dance theory, because feminist dance theory isn't going to make any money. And we don't want a percentage of your waitressing tips.
Right. Pay for useful
Exactly.
careers.
Pay for things that are going to make you money, because what you're giving them the money for is a cut of their future earnings. So you have to maximize their future earnings.
Do those models
That's
not
the way
exist
to pay
today?
for this.
Do those models don't exist at all?
No, because the government deals with it. The government does.
They guarantee anyone
also
alone.
There's not it's I don't know that has ever been tried, but if you look back as far as the 70s, Friedman was writing about it in Capitalism and Freedom.
So coming up, I want to get back into this story that we started the show out with, and we haven't been back to it. This article by a former lieutenant governor of New York State. It's appearing in the New York Post, so this is being read presumably by a lot of people. And this lady, whose name is Betsy McCaughey, is saying that...
Oh my God, Betsy.
She's saying that there's a brutal downside of legal pot, and we're going to get into this prohibitionist tripe here in moments. Hour number 3 is on the way. You're also welcome to join us. In this next paragraph that we haven't gotten to yet, it's pretty surprising. What's about to be said. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We got Hour 3 next, and you can join us here on Free Talk Live.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. Call right now before it's too late. 800-213-9264.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading around $1,317, silver at $15.53, and Bitcoin is trading around $3,972. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, a Las Vegas police officer took videos with her cell phone as she forced a mentally ill man to dance for her, taunting a man as a fellow cop force-fed him gummy bears, recorded herself demanding to see a handcuffed man's genitalia, and used every racial slur under the sun. The Free Thought Project reports the conduct was so egregious, Officer Rachel Sorkow was arrested this month on multiple charges. The deranged and cruel officer would eventually get exposed for her sick actions after she'd proudly share the footage with friends, fellow cops, and family. To Officer Sorkow, humiliating innocent mentally ill people while hurling racial slurs was entertainment fit for the whole family. Not only was Sorkow involved in a sick racist power trip, but the public servant was also pimping out her department's background check capabilities and doing favors for criminals by looking up their status in the system. Sorkow's sick acts of racism and forced humiliation would have likely been overlooked and dismissed had she not been caught using the background check system. She was caught abusing the system on at least 19 different occasions. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. I'm Mick Murrow reporting. Your news now continues. Israel's 3 largest banks have all been ordered to pay record fines, which collectively are set to total over $1 billion to the U.S. government, after the banks were found to have actively colluded with thousands of wealthy Americans in massive tax evasion schemes. Mid-press news reports the scandal has been reported widely in Israel, but has garnered little attention in the United States. The media blackout has been so surprising, it was even directly mentioned by the Times of Israel, given that similar revelations about other banks and offshore tax evasion schemes, such as those contained within the Panama Papers, led to global protests and even the resignations of some world leaders. The settlements are the end result of a series of Department of Justice probes that were related to the DOJ's 2007 investigation targeting UBS AG, Switzerland's largest bank. The focus of the probe turned to Israel a few years later in 2011, when it was determined that the Swiss subsidiaries of several of Israel's largest banks had actively aided Americans seeking to launder their money. If the black smoke over the Paris skyline and charred cars and buildings, which have become characteristic of France's increasingly violent yellow vest protests over the past months, weren't alarming enough, things look to get much worse as the government prepares to escalate. The anti-media reports that in an effort to clamp down on the unraveling security situation, which has lately seen banks and residential buildings torched and luxury stores and restaurants vandalized and destroyed, the French authorities have announced the deployment of anti-terrorism military forces in order to protect and secure public buildings. Following the worsening protest situation of the past weekend, which nearly turned deadly for random civilians caught up in the mayhem of rioters clashing with police, the government will redirect counter-terror troops from Operation Sentinel to focus on Yellow Vest-related threats. Support for Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It was on this day in 1982 that the first roller skating while carrying a boombox member of Congress was elected, when James Sugar Boots Franklin narrowly won New York's 8th congressional seat. Franklin's victory was a watershed moment at the time, signaling that America's burgeoning population of boombox carrying roller skaters had finally gained mainstream acceptance.
We prove Congress isn't just for suits and crew cuts. Say hello to the slickest legislator on 8 wheels, James Sugar Boots Franklin.
Franklin was an unlikely pioneer, a street-smart skater who admitted to being more concerned with impressing honeys with his silky smooth moves than with politics. Franklin began organizing boombox-carrying roller skaters, advocating for basic rights like roller skate-accessible ramps in government buildings and protected street lanes where they could lay down cones for some sweet slaloming.
Just because we like to roll it out and have a smooth, fluid style that cannot be denied doesn't mean we aren't Americans. Yeah, that's right.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free if you want to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And if you want to join us off the radio, well, stay tuned after this hour of the show. After we're done with the radio show, we finish at 10 o'clock Eastern Time every single night. And by the way, we are live all 7 nights a week. But tonight we're going to be doing a Free Talk Live after show. We call it Freer Talk Live because, well, you are more free to say things that you can't say on the radio when you're on Freer Talk Live. So you can join us on our Twitch channel. That's where it will exclusively appear, over at twitch.lrn.fm. So please do that. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
It's Vincent.
And Rich Paul.
Earlier tonight, we started an opinion piece from the New York Post written by a former lieutenant governor there in New York, Betsy McCaughey, and she is on the warpath against legal marijuana. She is not happy about this idea.
Oh my God, Betsy.
Yep, and she is trotting out as many fear-based, fear-mongering stories as possible. And then she gets into this shocker here. The Detroit NAACP has now come out against legalization, insisting
seriously?
Yeah. That's what. It's shocking.
Good Lord.
It's shocking. Insisting marijuana is a way to hold minorities, quote, in bondage. The Reverend Horace Sheffield of the Detroit Association of Black Organizations asked, quote, "How do I tell young people about the dangers of drugs if it's now legal?" Unquote.
How do you tell people about the dangers of sex or blasphemy or anything else that's against your religion?
That's already legal.
That isn't illegal,
Yeah. Well,
you idiot.
Well, I mean, it's probably one of these actually, no, I'm not gonna comment on what sort of preaching the guy's doing, but like, if there's nothing in the Bible that talks about illegalizing a plant or something. It talks about it's important to stay sober minded, right? But it doesn't say anything about the war on drugs. It doesn't say anything about like the dangers of the dangers
as a matter
of
fact,
excess, of
quite
drunkenness.
the opposite. The Rastas like to point out that God gave all the seeding plants of the earth to mankind to use.
Well, but I'm assuming
Genesis.
this guy's like a mainline Christian, or quote mainline Christian, like an evangelical.
Well, this is all in the Bible, though. This is all in Genesis.
Oh no, yeah, I don't
mankind
disagree.
is given dominion over all the flowering and seed-bearing plants of the world and all that, and that includes ganja.
So one of the reasons why this is crazy is because historically, as I understand it, the NAACP has been in favor of cannabis legalization because the war on drugs certainly targets blacks. I mean, you could argue that they target minorities more so than they target whites, but regardless, there's definitely plenty of black people who've been arrested for possession of marijuana, and now here you have at the very least Detroit, and maybe Detroit is a schism group from the rest of the NAACP.
I hope so,
because I can find here a story from late last year where the NAACP in New Jersey was holding a forum on legalization. So it may be that some NAACP people have split away and have decided they wanted to go against legalization, but it's a shocker, man, to say that the NAACP in Detroit is against legalization.
Yeah,
that's apparently the case.
I'll tell you what, if you're in New Jersey, check out the NJ Weedman.
Heck yeah,
and
he's
his
great.
temple. He rocks.
He's out of prison now, too, as I understand.
Yeah, he's out of prison. He's back in control of his temple. He's
excellent.
He's doing this thing, sell weed like I was a Caucasian, because his big thing is that the regulated market is racist. And whether or not it is even, of course, a regulated market can be racist if the regulators are racist. And I think it is that regulatory scheme, like all regulatory scheme, is tilted against all of the people who are not what George Carlin would call members of the club. It's a big club, and you and I are not in it.
Well, legalization disenfranchises independent African-American drug dealers, so that's probably
it has the same impact on white drug dealers.
Right. It disenfranchises those who can't afford the licensing process.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's
but
discriminatory,
that's not legalization, it's the licensing process that's a problem.
Well, that's true, but generally legalization contains the idea of regulation. If it weren't, if it didn't have regulation, it wouldn't be so much legalization as it would be depenalization, right? Where you just simply make the thing not illegal anymore.
Well, it depends. If you completely repealed the laws against drugs, that would be legalization.
It would be.
But the thing is, they still call it legalization if it's a legalization and regulation bill. So people assume that legalization means legalization and regulation, but legalization does not imply regulation.
It depends.
The most straightforward way to legalize a thing is just repeal every law that contains the word marijuana. That's legalization. That's real legalization.
And I'll add, while Ian's looking up the definition, when Ian first gave the title of this article,
definition is to make something formerly illegal legal.
Right, but to make something legal, you could argue requires that it be regulated. You could argue that. I don't know if it's true.
I was just gonna say, I assumed when Ian read the headline, I assumed that what the person, the Betsy, the author, would be talking about was saying like how corporations are going to ruin weed. We're going to turn GMO legal weed. It's going to be used with pesticides and stuff. That's what I assumed, right? I'm surprised that people are still on. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, which is why legalization isn't exactly the best thing, especially over regulations. But I'm so surprised that like people still think. Well, I shouldn't be surprised, but that people are still using those same tired arguments that she's using.
Yep. Well, there's more
coming beyond this, at least.
No, there's more coming up here. So we're going to get into it. But first, let's go to your calls and thoughts. We do have Dave in New Hampshire. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Well, have you guys reported on the Mike Sylvia case?
I have, actually. I wrote an article about it on freekeen.com a little while back. I think it was sometime in 2018. Let me see if I can recap from memory what it was that transpired. Mike Sylvia is a libertarian activist. He became a state representative. He's a longtime Free Talk Live listener and supporter. Just a great guy.
Sylvia rocks.
Yeah, he's awesome. And in fact, he won the Legislator of the Year award last year from the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. So he not only did he get an A+ rating, but he was the top of all the A+ rated state representatives for Liberty. So just an overall great Liberty activist up here.
Go Mike.
And they targeted him. The town that he lives in, which I believe is called Belmont, if I recall correctly, they came after him because they were alleging that he was illegally living in his garage. and they have like a zoning thug who apparently is trying to, or like has been scoping out his property, like staking him out.
Legalized stalking.
And watching as he, apparently what happened was he bought a piece of property a couple of years ago or a few years ago that he got at a good price because the home on the property had burned down. And so there was a garage that still remained. It was not burned down. Home burned down, garage was still there. So he parked an RV on the property, and they were claiming that he was illegally living either both in the garage or in the RV, but when it got cold...
Was the RV in the garage?
No.
Oh, okay.
RV was outside, and because
I've considered doing that, parking an RV in a garage and living in it during the winter.
Yeah, as long as you don't have a dirty zoning thug coming down on you. Apparently, this guy was staking him out and watching as I don't know if they even saw him go into the garage, but he saw saw tracks in the snow leading to the garage, and if I recall, saw smoke coming from a chimney in the garage, which to this zoning bureaucrat was evidence that he was living in the garage, and therefore, according to the town of Belmont, that's illegal. And the real icing on the cake...
Well, it sounds like he was in the garage and he was living, so he was living in the garage.
Well, we don't know.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he's residing in the garage.
I think this proves just how domesticated people are, that they're willing to be okay with a government that has laws telling people what that they can't live on their own legally
It's
owned
outrageous.
property.
Oh, absolutely.
Under common law, these people could be
hanged. Is it safer for him to be homeless
in
than
the wintertime?
to live where he's living? No, it's not.
So, and the real killer, and Dave, I see you may have an update on this, so stand by. We'll bring you back here because I have not heard. If there's an update on this, I haven't heard about it yet. So they're coming, and they've been coming after him, and he's been fighting it. He's going to take it to court and all that, from what I understand. So we'll get the latest from Dave here in moments on that. It's Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Does this ever happen to you? Moments after you're introduced to someone, you forget his or her name. It's a common faux pas you'll want to avoid, especially if you're a job seeker. And even if you're not, here's a tip. As you are being introduced, and while you're still shaking hands, smiling, and making eye contact, say the person's name aloud. Not only does that make a deposit in your memory bank, it acknowledges the other person. And that is more than a nuance, as is maintaining eye contact. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better, no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Toll-free number for you if you want to join us. 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Hop into any one of those. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. I'm Ian.
I'm Vincent.
I'm Rich Paul.
Forkfest 2019 is coming up in 3 months from now. Actually, a little less than 3 months from now at this point. June 13th through the 18th at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Let me tell you, people are already getting their campsites reserved. I'm in the Forkfest chat room, which you can access over at forkfest.party, and they've been posting maps of the campground and like highlighting where people are going to be camping out. So
yeah, and it's so early. I'm surprised there's that much.
Sorry, I can't hear you both when you're talking at the same time.
I'm just going to say, like, people must be really excited because it's like people usually, in my experience, hate planning things ahead of time. But like, there's a lot of discussion in there for it being months away. So yeah. I see that as a really good sign.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
So head over to forkfest.party. That's where you can connect with the Telegram chat room or the Forkfest forum or both. And what is Forkfest? Well, it's a liberty-oriented, decentralized camping festival. Now, you've heard of an unconference. Have you heard of an unconference before?
No.
So, unconference is where you get people together at like a hotel and then there's no schedule. Basically, like the stage is open.
Sort of like Anarchapulco, right?
It's a gathering.
That's not like that. Anarchapulco isn't like that at all.
It's all scheduled? Or?
Yeah, everything's scheduled there. But this is kind of like an unconference, but in the woods. So where nothing is particularly scheduled, but anything anybody wants to schedule, they can schedule because you can just do whatever it is you want to do on your own campsite. So, you want to have a poker game, bring a table and set it up. You want to have a musical event, bring in some amplifiers or whatever instruments you need and set it up. And you can advertise it, of course, on the Forkfest forum or on the chat room, or both, I'd recommend. Rich, I heard that somebody's going to create a Facebook event for this. I don't know if that was you or somebody else who volunteered for that, but somebody did, I think. And so people are doing these things, right? Like everybody just kind of does whatever it is they think is the best thing to do. And that could just be show up and have a good time. Just showing up counts, The more people that show up, the better the event, I think, is going to be. So learn more at forkfest.party and mark it on your calendar, June 13th through the 18th. And you should probably contact Rogers Campground sooner rather than later to book your campsite. As I understand it, they're open limited hours. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if they're not there when you call, just leave your contact info and they'll call you back. And then you can lock down either your RV site or your campsite or a hotel room if you prefer to stay in the motel.
I really hope there's a bar again this year. The Agorist drinking fountain rocked, and then PorkFest shut it down. Well, we don't have any central organization, so if you're running a bar on your site, nobody has any responsibility for that but you.
Yep. I'm very looking forward to it. And, as people who listen to my show know, I'm very misanthropic and shy. I never go out to these events, and I'm excited for it. So I think that should say something.
Very cool. Forkfest.party. We continue with Dave in New Hampshire, who is Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. I think you've been promoting Forkfest on the Ridley Report. Am I right about that, Dave?
Yeah, Forkfest.party. It's going to be a party.
Now, are you going to come out this year? Because I know you couldn't make it last year.
I don't know yet. That's in June, right?
Yeah, June 13th through the 18th.
Yeah.
Wait, so you definitely know? Oh, you're saying it's possible. Okay, good. Well, I'll hope that we'll get to see you out at Forkfest. Now, you were calling about Mike Sylvia, who's a libertarian activist. He actually registered as a Republican, ran successfully, got elected, and has been reelected a couple. I think he's on his third term right now. So he's been reelected multiple times as a very principled, liberty-oriented person in the state house. He's been targeted. Mike. Yeah, he's great. He's been targeted by the town of Belmont, where he lives, because they're alleging that he's been living in his garage or in an RV. Either way, they're claiming that's not legal, and they went after him in court late last year, but that's the last I heard an update on this case, Dave. What's the latest?
So three things. First of all, I guess the Laconia Sun was reporting this is actually, he's a four-term representative.
Oh, okay.
Apparently. And I believe he was elected as a write-in.
Maybe the first time, but go ahead.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I guess now the town has decided what they want to do to Mike Sylvia as punishment for this, and they want to relieve him of $150,000.
What?
Good Lord.
Is this like a per day, like a $500 a day fine for the last several years or something? I mean, how do they come about that number?
That I don't know. They did report that the trial, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, will be on June 24th.
Okay, so when I first reported on this, which if you look at freekeen.com, just search for Mike Sylvia, and you'll find the story. It was back in September, and there was going to be a court hearing. At that time, the town of Belmont wanted some kind of preliminary injunction against Mike, and I never heard what happened in that court hearing. Do you happen to know if they got an injunction against him, or what the status is of that?
No, I don't know. Everything I know is just coming from, I guess, a couple of Facebook posts I've seen and the Laconia Sun article. But it's kind of neat that actually...
Hold on, just to clarify, Dave, is this Laconia Sun article new? Is this like breaking, or is... Because I don't see it.
I don't remember checking the date. It seemed to me like it was a week or two old.
Okay.
And it was interesting in Laconia. There's one of the few places left in America, it seems like, where there really are two competing newspapers. Huh. And the Sun is actually sort of the indie, alternative newspaper, and I see stuff from them a lot. They really do good watchdogging, but it's fair, journalism, objective looking. And they're just a minor, there's the mainstream paper there too. So it's nice to have them there. And I guess someone at I guess I once accidentally emailed the Citizen, the other paper or something like that, confused one with the other. I guess the editor of the main paper just got absolutely beside himself that I had confused his paper with the Sun. So they must be doing something right.
So, just curious, what is the article called on the Laconia Sun? Because I'm looking here and I don't see anything that's particularly fresh.
Let me see if I can find the title.
If you get a chance, maybe send it to me in an email if it wasn't right. I was just figured it might be right in front of you there. There's an article about...
It's getting there. If you can stall for 30 seconds, I can find it.
Well, there's an article on the Sun that is circa January of this year, but that's all about... his fellow Republicans that are going against him on something, but that doesn't seem to have really anything to do with his property situation. That said, I'm very interested in seeing how this turns out, because this is clearly a property rights violation on the town's part. if you have an RV, you ought to be able to live in the damn RV on your own property. I mean, it's outrageous. If you have a garage, you ought to be able to live in a garage on your own property. I mean, it's sick. These town bureaucrats who think they own you and own everything that you think that you have. The fact is, if they're successful at this, it'll be clear once again that they do own us and they do own the property, and it's sick.
And these are the things that keep people homeless. I mean, if we didn't violate the right to homestead by monopolizing all the unowned land, and we didn't have building codes saying you can't build a house unless it's good enough for us, then there would be no homelessness in America.
I hope he defends his property tooth and nail.
Hey, Dave, if you found it, spit it out. Otherwise, we got to scram. We got more coming up here. We got to get to some more calls, and I appreciate you being there. That's Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. If we hear more on the Sylvia case, we're definitely going to let you know. There's more coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Free Talk Live.
I wouldn't snitch them out. I would report them to the police.
Right.
Okay, now
call it what you want.
Now,
sir.
many states have laws about carrying firearms, even though their constitutions say that it's legal for everyone to own a firearm.
Like New York State.
There's no way to ban it. Would you snitch out somebody that you knew had a firearm?
If they had it illegally, I wouldn't snitch them out. I would report them.
Right.
I got to say, you're a bad American, Ken.
Yeah, I think you're a scumbag, Ken.
You're a communist.
I'm
a communist.
I'm a communist because I want people to be able to carry guns like the Second Amendment says.
He'd snitch on the person, and then the cops would come and infringe it for him.
Felons out there carrying guns at will.
I'm a convicted felon. Do you think I shouldn't be able to protect my wife from an intruder?
I don't think you should have a gun.
How am I going to protect myself if the guy has a gun?
There are many other ways to protect yourself than not having a gun.
You should call the cops, Mark, like any good citizen.
That way the cops can come clean up my corpse after it's all over, right?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free to bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Just head on over to discord.lrn.fm. Jump into one of those. We'll get you on the air here with us. It's Ian, Vincent, and Rich in the studio, and I want to make sure that you know about our forum. You can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners over at forum.lrn.fm. That's forum.lrn.fm. Yeah, I know, forums. People don't go there anymore, and it's true. There aren't that many people that go there, but it's great. It really is a nice piece of software, and it works very, very well. And there are some conversations that are happening there. So if you enjoy a good forum, this is a darn good one.
Does the FBI have direct access to your database?
I hope not.
Okay, good, because they do on Facebook. That's a good reason for using
And I was going to ask,
forum.
how much censorship do you do on the forum?
No spam, no racism. So there you go.
All right, so it sounds pretty. Well, I wonder if I don't know. Facebook has that sounds pretty vague as Facebook's, but I guess only time will tell if you end up being like that. Twitter.
Ian is not heavy on the
moderation,
the moderation hand. I can guarantee you that.
So then it'll be better than Facebook. Then.
Yeah. Hey, let's continue with your calls here, and then we can talk more about this ridiculous anti-marijuana propaganda in the New York Post. But first, Felix is on the line in New Hampshire. Felix, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
All right, so about 3 weeks ago, I went for my annual physical. Everything's fine, by the way. Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations. Very good.
Kudos.
I was talking to my doctor about the fact that I use cannabis habitually.
Cannabis, okay.
I disclose everything. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Weed. Anyway, I told him that I wish that I could get on the medical marijuana program. I'm in New Hampshire, by the way.
Excellent.
And they have that here, but you got to jump through some crazy hoops. And the hospital that I go to, I thought that they actually didn't even have it there. But he corrected me and said, "Oh no, we've been doing it for years." And so, long story short, he gave me the therapeutic cannabis program. I have right here in front of me the certificate for the therapeutic use of cannabis. It's like the application. But it's just been sitting here on my desk for like 3 weeks because as I was looking through everything, I noticed, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this, the ATF open letter to...
Yes.
I was about to ask about that.
No, what is it to who? ATF open letter to who?
Gun owners.
Okay, so it's called Open Letter to All Federal Firearms Licensees.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a one page. I'm not going to read it. It's so boring. But actually, I'll give you a quote on one of them. It says, "An inference of current use may be drawn from evidence of a recent use or possession of a controlled substance or pattern of use of possession that reasonably covers the present time." That's why I'm not going to read the whole thing. But long story short, if you own guns or ammo, if you're in possession of them and you go through with this medical marijuana program,
mm-hmm.
and you have the card, it will be illegal federally for you to possess any firearms or ammo. Yeah,
that sucks.
So I'm just sitting here with this thing, and it'd be so nice to get off from the black market and go to a store and purchase my...
Here's a question I have for you about this. So I know that when the New Hampshire medical program came into being, that it wasn't covering as many things, as many conditions as people would have liked. And I know that they have expanded it since then, and I believe chronic pain was added to the list. Did they give you a list of qualifying conditions?
Yes, they did, and so I should have clarified that. So I mentioned that I'm pretty healthy, but I do have a really bad back, and I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And when it's bad, it's bad. When it's not, it's nothing. It's no big deal. But when it's bad, it's like super bad. So I fit into what the doctor actually referred to as the gray area. But yeah,
really?
I do qualify.
What is the gray area? I mean, what is the name for that?
I think it just means like chronic pain.
So it is on the list then. Chronic pain. I wasn't sure. I thought I'd heard that they'd passed, because again, like I said, they've been expanding it. So I thought I'd heard that chronic pain was included. So I'm glad to hear that that's on there now.
Do you know if they include opiate addiction yet?
Ooh, that'd be a good one too.
I don't know. You know what? I got the check box here right in front of me, and I can tell you what it says. The one he checked for me.
Because
one or more injuries or conditions that has resulted in one or more qualifying symptoms listed below. And then that one that he checked this box. It says severe pain that has not responded to previously prescribed medication or surgical measures. So,
does it include like depression or anxiety or anything? I'm curious about that.
Severe persistent muscle spasms, wasting syndrome, seizures. These are other checkboxes.
Seizures. I'm glad to hear seizures are on there. I've known people that have been very helped by cannabis oil.
There's 6 more. There's 6 more short ones if you want to hear.
Yeah, go ahead. Just rattle them off.
Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's is on there? Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, Alzheimer's is on there. Okay, I'm not even going to try this one. CACHEXIA. Atopia. I don't know what that is. Chemotherapy-induced anorexia, constant or severe nausea, elevated intraocular pressure, and moderate to severe vomiting. So that's interesting. If you vomit a lot, apparently you can get on the.
Interesting.
It definitely works for anti-nausea. Like I could testify to that.
Hey, bro, do you know about the 420 rally?
Is that up in at Rogers as well?
No,
Concord.
It's going to be in Concord,
State House,
April 20th. Where we come out every year and we smoke on the steps of the State House, and
all 3 of us are going to be there.
No, there's more than 3 people. Oh yeah, all 3 of us.
I mean, the 3 of us are going to be there, but there's going to be hundreds of other people there if we do it right.
It's going to be great, man. You should go. Would love to have you
Felix,
there.
thanks for the call tonight. I mean, definitely a lot of people have this concern, and I don't know what's going to fix it for folks besides seceding from the United States, because they're not going to abolish the ATF anytime soon.
I know you guys aren't lawyers and you can't give advice or whatever, but I'm just curious, in your opinion, would you go through with it or would you stick to the black market? Because in my opinion, my partner, he wants me to go through with it.
That's a good question.
Of course, he has a bias. He wants to be able to go to the dispensary.
Well,
if the state still recognized my right to keep and bear arms, I would not get a medical marijuana card, because I would want to keep it that way. And so I would rather break the law than give them a reason to take away my right to keep and bear.
Let me add one more thing, too. Like I said, my partner, he will be able to go to the dispensary for me as a, quote, caregiver if I go through with this. So I just thought that was an interesting little tidbit I could throw in.
If you keep 21 grams or less around, it's not even a crime.
It's a violation.
It's a violation.
It's
like a parking ticket. So you're probably better off, and
staying off the list.
And if you actually need it for medical or spiritual purposes, talk to me at the church. I'll find somebody.
The
thing is,
go ahead.
The thing with me is I like the cartridges. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen those things.
Those are hard to get, on the black market.
Press the button to
not
get
really.
high,
They're not hard to get. But you wanted to answer his question?
I just want to answer.
Get, but I did have to go to the black market to get them last time, and I got a ton of them and they're just for personal use. I wasn't distributing, but I don't want to give out too much information, but it was sketchy.
Vincent, what would you do?
I was
Go ahead.
brought on this deal.
I wouldn't. I've been faced with that decision. I thought very hard about it, and I wouldn't want to give up my right to defend myself and bear arms just so I can have like easier access to something that the state will probably, for whatever reason, still punish me for having any. And so it's just not worth it. I value being able to defend myself more than the ability to deal with my medical illness.
Felix, I would recommend you check out the dark net. There are all kinds of interesting ways to get all kinds of interesting things without having sketchy situations. I thank you for the call tonight, and maybe we'll see you at the 420 in Concord next month. All right, more coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us here.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Have you tried all kinds of sleep aids that don't work or have suffered from their side effects?
Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Siliberti, clinical neurologist and sleep expert. If I were to tell you I've developed an all-natural scientific breakthrough called Relaxium Sleep that will help you fall asleep fast and sleep deeply through the night, you'd probably be skeptical. So I'm going to prove it to you by giving you a risk-free trial.
For your free trial, call 800-644-4142. Relaxium Sleep is the only natural sleep aid developed by a clinical neurologist. Its triple-action formula contains 2 unique ingredients, Valarest and Sensoril, proven to promote fast, deep sleep so you'll wake up refreshed. Be one of the first 100 callers, and we'll include our free Delta Wave music CD to reach your deepest sleep. Call 800-644-4142 for the best sleep of your life. 800-644-4142 or visit tryrelaxium.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number, 855-450-FREE. Moments remain in this radio edition of Free Talk Live. But coming up on our Twitch feed over at twitch.lrn.fm, we will have the internet-only Freer Talk Live that you can tune into, and then we can say certain things that we're not allowed to say on broadcast radio. So once again, that's twitch.lrn.fm. Make sure you follow us there, and if you don't mind, leave your browser window open 24/7 if you can. If you got a computer that's on 24/7, leave the browser tuned to twitch.lrn.fm, and that'll help us get one person closer to our goal of being a Twitch partner.
Now, what about people who went to cam.freetalklive.com? Will they also see the after show?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, they will.
Because that's where I've been directing people. So
and
I'm
also, LRN.FM has a cam built into the front page there, so they'll also see it. So, yeah, that's the Twitch channel.
Okay.
So.
Discordia is probably a better experience, though.
Discord?
Discord.
There's no video there.
Oh, there's no video there?
No. Discord is an audio platform, basically.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking Twitch.
Twitch is
all
our
these
video
new
platform.
Platforms are piling up in my mind. There's so many of them.
It is true. There's no doubt about that. Twitch, oops, that's a little bit of talk back there. Bad Slave, you're going to need to mute whatever it is that you're listening to, because we're going to get to you here in just a moment. I accidentally just put you on the air. So we're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. You can bring up what you want. If we get the chance, we'll finish up this propaganda, this anti-cannabis propaganda from a former lieutenant governor of New York. And we're going to go to the phones first, though. We've got Sarah in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes. I was told that we do have a Hindu temple now here in Albuquerque.
You didn't have one before?
Yes. Well, we've always had a Buddhist meditation centers, like two of them that I knew about, and but the
that's
Hindu
different.
Temple, it's different, and so I'm really interested, and so I really want to go find out and go to some of their services.
Well, that's very open-minded of you.
Well, you know what? I used to visit most of the Hare Krishna temples in West Virginia, Honolulu, Boston. I used to go to one in Boston.
Now, are you seeking
Christian temples?
Are you? Wait, did you say Christian temple?
Oh, well, Orthodox Christian do call their meeting places temples. I think.
So are you kind of looking for a place in the world as far as a religious viewpoint, Sarah? Are you assessing the different religions out there and trying to figure out which one fits you best? Is that what you're up to?
Well, the thing is I love being at the temple. There's a spiritual vibe there. And I really am convinced the food, the prasadam, is especially blessed. And a lot of people become like...
They offered free food there. That's why Sarah went. I can guarantee it. There's a free stuff, and, churches do it all the time, so I don't doubt that these temples are going to do it, too.
Have you checked out the Church of the Invisible Hand yet?
No, I'm saying is that it's a blessed.
She doesn't have the internet.
God. They pray over it with a bell. But what I'm saying
Go to
is that
Faithful
people
Word
get,
Baptist Church. That's a good one. That's in Arizona, not too far from there.
Well, what I'm saying is this food, the vegetarian food, is very special because you become addicted. A lot of people become devotees. It actually has a special energy.
I can tell you one thing about vegetarian food is I've never felt like I could ever become addicted to it. I mean, there's some of it some of it I've had that has been good. Like some of it's been surprisingly good, but I've never been like, I got to have that again.
Meat is murder. Tasty, delicious, juicy murder.
Food is blessed. It's been played over. People become addicted.
Anybody can.
It's like she says it's addictive, right? It's like they put MSG or something in it.
Well, she says it's blessed, is what she says. She says they've prayed over it.
Well, maybe it's like that.
Then it would need to be
NA
addictive.
meeting.
Then,
sorry, one at a time, please.
Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, it's reminding me of Chappelle's NA meeting donuts. Can you sprinkle a little cocaine on the donuts for us? We're trying to wean them off a little bit.
You guys never ate prasadam.
No, I don't think I have.
If you eat it constantly,
how do you spell that?
You would want to go to the temple all the time and become devotees.
No, I would certainly not. No, I could guarantee you I wouldn't just by.
Well, they say the way
food.
to a man's heart is through his stomach, Sarah. So you might be onto something there. Thanks for the call.
Gluttony.
Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I mean, I've had some delicious Muslim foods as well when I was going over to...
How do you know the food was Muslim?
Well, it was made by Muslims.
No, is there a recipe in the Quranian? Is the recipe of how to make it in the Quran?
No.
Or was it okay? All right, so maybe it's like
just cultural.
They call. I mean, it's like, or maybe you're getting ethnic mixed up because they say there's like ethnic food, like there's no.
I'm just saying it was made by
food.
Muslims. That's all.
So is Chinese food Buddhist food then?
If it was made by Buddhists.
So like if an atheist made the same exact dish, would it still be Muslim food, Ian? Or would it be maybe ethnic food?
It would not. It would be ethnic food.
But it's the same thing. So okay, all right. Anyways, it's much ado about nothing. Let's continue.
Yeah,
anyway,
well, different people identify with different groups. There are religious ethnic foods. For example, kosher food, halal is certainly
It's just prepared
Muslim.
a certain way, yeah.
But it's prepared based on a religious code.
Well, I mean,
so that does, I guess, make it. I mean,
that
if
would
you're
make that
a Muslim,
religious,
you get a different diet when you're in jail. So I guess it would be.
That's
different.
true.
Well, but never mind. It's not worth arguing.
Toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We go to Bad Slave. He's on the line in New Hampshire on our Discord server. Go ahead, Bad Slave.
Hi, Ian.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Vincent and the other guy.
Rich Paul. That's us. You've named us now. Go ahead.
You don't know who I am,
I'm surprised
bro?
you recognize me, but not
You don't
Rich.
remember me?
Real quickly, Mike Sylvia did have a hearing recently, I don't know, last week or two. And his hearing, I guess, denied his motion to dismiss. And that they're going forward with a jury trial.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big deal.
I'm going to need to find out when that is, because I would like to attend.
Yeah. I definitely want to be out there, and I think we should be out there with a lot of people. And if they do take that land, I think we should be out there with a lot of people.
So the other thing is, I have to keep bringing this up that when the federal government interferes, because almost every interference from the feds to the states. Hello?
We're right here.
We're here.
Every interference from the feds to the states are usually unconstitutional actions. Are not authorized by the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I mean, the 9th and 10th Amendments deal with these things directly and effectively, and all we have to do is notify the feds. I actually think that there's a permission process that gets generated by the feds to actually do anything inside the state of New Hampshire.
Do you want to let the listeners know? I don't know what the 9th and 10th Amendments do. I can paraphrase them from memory.
Yeah, only
I don't
like
know if you can.
25% of the population knows what they are.
It's basically saying that that the listing in the Bill of Rights is in fact not all inclusive, and that any other
let me do it, bro.
You might be
the 9th Amendment says that the enumeration in this Constitution of certain rights shall not be held to deny or disparage others retained by the people, and it's important that it's retained by the people, because that means they had these rights before. And also it's important because it refers back to the Declaration of Independence enumeration of rights, which is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. We still got those too, and those are broad rights. The 10th Amendment says, and this one I have to paraphrase, that Any power which is not delegated to the federal government by the Constitution is reserved to the states or to the people. So basically, for the federal government, all which is not mandatory is prohibited.
And we're never going to redress that. We're never going to let that be addressed through the legal means, which is why I think, it's the only way we could stop this federal government from doing illegal things is to do what the Romans did to Carthage, to Washington, D.C.
And that's why we need AR-15s.
I think we should just see secession happen. That would be a lot easier and more peaceful. Hey, thanks, Bad Slave, for the call tonight. If you are out there and you want to check out our after show, it's called Freer Talk Live, head over now to twitch.lrn.fm, and we will see you there in just a matter of minutes. Otherwise, tomorrow night, we'll join you over at freetalklive.com between now and then. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, that's really the reason why I amp, is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast.